NASCAR has a problem nobody wants to talk about. And it's not Kyle Larson, it's not Denny Hamlin, it's not of any driver born between Charlotte and Daytona. They're scared of a quiet Kiwi from Auckland who turned up in their backyard, borrowed their cars, and made their best drivers look like weekend club racers. Shane van Gisbergen 8 Cup Series wins, 6 poles, winning at Sonoma by a country mile, cracking Chicago from pole by 16.6 seconds, sweeping Watkins Glen. And now, quietly, the rulebook is being rewritten. Not for safety, not for the fans, for him. 3 specific acts of sabotage, 3 ways NASCAR is trying to stitch this up, and why every single one is already backfiring. If you're new here and you want the truth about what's happening to SVG, hit like and subscribe right now. Let's get into it. To understand why NASCAR is panicking, you have to understand what SVG actually does inside the car. It's called heel-toe downshifting. Right foot on the brake, rolling onto the throttle simultaneously. Left foot working the clutch, all at 200 km/h into a corner. Every American Cup driver left foot brakes. That's how they've done it their entire career. The clutch was effectively eliminated from Cup driving culture decades ago, and that habit is baked into every NASCAR driver's muscle memory. Here's why it matters. SVG uses the clutch mid-corner to rotate the car. He modulates brake bias mechanically per turn. He's generating grip the Americans physically cannot replicate. Kevin Harvick called it a completely different skill set on his podcast. Ryan Blaney called it another level. Kyle Larson, the reigning Golden Boy, publicly said, "If SVG figures out ovals, he'll be dominant." Larson said that. Out loud, Joey Logano and crew chief Paul Wolfe considered attempting heel-toe and concluded it was virtually impossible to learn with limited testing. Austin Cindric said it would require a full interior redesign commitment just to try. Chase Elliott admitted, "He made me look bad, and the rest of us too." Kyle Busch said SVG was 4 to 8 years ahead on street courses. William Byron called the Chicago dominance a little embarrassing. This isn't a fluke. Van Gisbergen is a 3X Supercars champion with 81 wins, 176 podiums, and 508 starts. 15 years around Bathurst, Mount Panorama, Simmons Plains. When the new Gen 3 Supercars car didn't suit him, Boris Said recommended him to Trackhouse racing owner Justin Marks. SVG got a call in Melbourne during the Australian F1 Grand Prix, and his life took a complete 180. Do you reckon a 400-meter restart zone at Watkins Glen scares someone like that? Yeah, nah. If you're part of the Kiwi invasion, if you want to see the Supercars boys humiliate the field in the States, subscribe right now. This channel is the home of the takeover. Every rule change, every war, every win, we break it down first. Now here's where it gets serious. 3 specific things NASCAR has done that just happen to target the exact skills SVG has, and the Americans don't. Sabotage 1. The restart zone shift at Watkins Glen. SVG had been butchering the field on late race restarts at Watkins Glen, using his braking technique to dive bomb from second and steal the win. The restart zone was his weapon. A long run gave him a massive launch window. Then, in August 2025, NASCAR's VP of Competition Elton Sawyer quietly announced the restart zone would move to the entrance of Turn 7, specifically the corner where SVG had been dominating. Shorter run. Compressed launch window. Advantage neutralized. The official line? Improving the racing product. But they didn't move the zone when Chase Elliott was winning every road course. They moved it when a Kiwi started sweeping them. Ross Chastain said publicly it changes the whole strategy of the final stage. That race, SVG won by 11.116 seconds over Christopher Bell, leading 38 of 90 laps, including the final 17. Post-race inspection was completed without issue. Coincidence? Every driver in the paddock knew who that rule was written for. Sabotage 2. The technical specs squeeze. The next-gen car was already built to homogenize everything: same chassis, same parts, same suppliers, sealed transmission, sealed differentials. You cannot modify the gearbox to suit a driver's style. That is specifically the area SVG exploits the clutch and shift interplay. Now there are open discussions inside garages about tightening tire allocations on road course weekends, changing compound choices, and tweaking aero balance on the road course package. Every single one of those changes targets mechanical grip SVG's advantage zone. Denny Hamlin has been vocal on his Actions Detrimental podcast about road courses being overrepresented in the playoffs. Read between the lines. That's not about track variety. Neutralize road courses, and you neutralize SVG's path to the championship. Simple maths. And they're doing the maths. Sabotage 3. The unwritten rules, the dirtiest one. After the Gateway race, SVG and teammate Ross Chastain drove through the grass on their cool-down lap to pick up debris and make minimum weight at inspection, a standard tactic clever teams have used for 40 years. NASCAR publicly announced they were going to have a talk with Trackhouse about driving on grass on a cool-down lap. Meanwhile, American teams have been running tire-scrubbing weight tricks and inspection dodges without a word. Sources inside the garage confirm the no. 88 gets a level of scrutiny reserved for cheaters, not champions post-race teardowns, tire temps, brake duct measurements. SVG isn't cheating. He's just winning, which in NASCAR is apparently the same thing when your accent isn't from North Carolina. He keeps passing inspection because he has nothing to hide. But the microscope never moves. Does it stop him? Not a chance. SVG has already adapted to every rule change thrown at him. His driving technique cannot be regulated away, it lives in his body, not the car. And here's what NASCAR didn't count on. SVG isn't the invasion. He's the beachhead. Cam Waters has already done his truck series run at Martinsville, with supercars branding on the door. Will Brown has turned up with RFK Racing. Brody Kostecki is circling Richard Childress Racing for road course rides. Erebus Motorsport is eyeing the American market. You don't stop a movement by writing a rule. You just teach the next wave to work around it faster. Picture Chicago, 2027, SVG on pole. Waters in the second row. Kostecki mid-pack. Brock Feeney watching from the pit wall. That's not a road course field anymore. That's a supercars round with American number plates on the doors. Every rule NASCAR writes to slow one Kiwi down just educates the next 4 on how to beat the system faster. This channel is brand new, and we're on a mission to reach 1,000 subscribers, genuinely covering the stories that matter in motorsport. If this video gave you something real, please hit like and subscribe. It means everything at this stage, and it keeps this content coming. Here's the question. Is NASCAR being genuinely unfair, writing rules with SVG's name invisibly stamped on them? Or are they just desperate, watching a bloke from South Auckland dismantle 100 years of American motorsport heritage on their own tarmac? Rort or reality, drop it in the comments. I read everyone. And before you click off, there is one driver on the current Cup grid that even SVG has admitted on record gives him nightmares on a road course. Not Larson. Not Hamlin. Not who you're thinking. The next video breaks down exactly who that is, why SVG rates him, and why he might be the one man who can stop the Kiwi invasion cold. It's already up. Click it now.